Welcome along to episode 846 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up on the show this week, we'll be chatting with Bola Sol and Ross Kemp as we talk about pension fitness. Dr. Richard Shepherd's along to let us know about his show, which is touring around, looking at the world of autopsies and investigating untimely deaths. We'll be joined by Fifi Garfield as she lets us know about some of her work in the world of theatre. We'll be catching up with our first chat with some of the stars of the Garrick Panto. We have got the Ugly Sisters from Lichfield Garrick, and we'll be having a natter with them. Sherrie Hewson will be joining us to talk about great TV. Nick Knowles will be along to let us know about the gas safe register on this gas safety week. And one of the Ugly Sisters from the Garrick, Sam Rayburn, will be letting me know about his big Boston variety show as well. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Now, it seems that nearly 20% of UK adults are prioritising getting fit over saving for later life. But we need to look after both our bodies and our finances too. To give us a few tips, I'm joined now by broadcaster and documentary maker Ross Kemp, and also by Bola Sol, pension trainer and financial advisor. Good afternoon to you both.
Afternoon, Jason.
So, Ross, first of all, give us a few clues on this research, because, I mean, as an actor, it's quite tricky knowing where your next income's coming from, let alone
and as a documentary maker. But as a documentary maker, we always, we go back to research, and you that's the beginning of any documentary, is making sure you know what you're talking about or what you're investigating. And we've found that many people aged 35 to 55 are taking steps to get fit and healthy, but not many have organised their finances for later life. And that's why I'm sort of fronting this year's Pay Your Pension Summer Tension campaign with Bola. And we want the nation to also focus on financial fitness and engage with pension provision for their future selves. And they can find everything they need to know by going to the pensionattention.co.uk website, where they'll find 3 steps in training to plan financially for their future.
Yeah, because, Bola, it is important we think about these things, and not only tracking how we're getting on with paying our NI and all that sort of stuff from the government side of pensions, but also that important top-up, because we can't get by on a state pension these days, can we?
No, absolutely not. And on top of it, we need to check our workplace pensions, but also our old ones. Many people don't check where their old pensions are, or they just assume they can't get access to it anymore. And that's why there's just a quick 3-step training plan process with this. And that's what pensionattention.co.uk is here to do. Just make sure that people can find the information they're looking for to clamour back as much of their retirement money as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Ross, if there was a workout that went along with this at the same time, we might have more success getting them to do it, mightn't we?
Yeah, exactly, because obviously people are far more interested in going to the gym than they are than looking at their finances. But I think they're equally important if you want to enjoy your retirement. Yeah. There's no point, being stuck in the chair watching the television. If you want to get out and you want to move around and you want to enjoy your life, you've got to exercise through it. And also, if you want to be able to afford to go out and enjoy your life, you've got to have some money to spend. So, I think both are equally important, and we seem to be concentrating a bit too much on the health and fitness and not much as enough on our financial fitness. And that's what we're encouraging people to do. Because, as you say, the state pension, is that going to cover it? Will it even exist in 5 years' time, let alone 30 years' time? So, it's up to you to, look back on pensions that you may have paid into that you haven't claimed, look at what you have presently, and then work out what you might need in the future, so you can enjoy your later life, both physically and financially.
Absolutely. Bola, we've got first steps. Obviously, you've talked about making sure we know where we are on any pensions we've paid through our workplace. And also, I suppose our next step is to understand on what we can do to improve our position from there.
Yeah, I'd say you could potentially increase your contributions. So if you work for an employer, people need to find out about salary sacrifice. I always tell people to look into that. Maybe you could put some more into your pension and also ask your employer what they can do to match that. If you are a freelancer, I think people need to start looking at their pension. I get that it's a cost of living crisis, but we have to be sure that we are looking at our future as well and that we have something earmarked for that. So try and have a personal pension and you're putting money away. And if you are self-employed, it's tax deductible. This is what more people really need to understand.
Mm-hmm. And Ross, that's something I assume has hit you. You've been able to work that out through the years.
Yep.
And also, I mean, you've probably still yourself got little pension pots from various jobs you've had around your broadcasting work.
Yeah, and I've managed to, be able to go back and realise that I did have one that I didn't actually claim, and I've now claimed that, and I've put that into my major pot. I just can't tell you, it's really, really important. It does seem dull. Would you rather go and do a workout? Would you rather have a game of football or a game of hockey or whatever your sport is? Of course you would. But, it takes the pressure off you if you know that, you have some money there for whatever life may throw at you down the line. It just takes a bit more pressure off of a very pressurized world that we live in. And as I say, it's not as interesting as probably, rock climbing or, going canoeing or whatever it is that rocks your boat. But it does take some pressure off knowing that there's a little bit there for you, and a little bit will grow substantially over time. It can go up, it can go down, but ultimately, because of just the way money works, it will go up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Bola, again, this is something we need to monitor. As we're getting older, we need to work out whether we're in a higher or lower risk pension pot bracket, and all these things we've got to try and understand, because it's confusing terminology used here.
I know, that's why, it's so important. You need to know your attitude to risk. That way you can find out what is your pension invested in, the type of funds that work for you. And, it's not just for people who are old. Some people just think, oh, look, I'm young, I don't need to care about pensions. Everybody needs to care about pensions. And you don't need to be making what you deem to be a lot of money in order to put something away. It's a bit like a savings habit, but in a different way. This is like investing for your future. That's what pensions are. And hopefully the money grows and compounds. So nobody is exempt. Everybody needs a pension.
Yeah, so if you are in that position whereby you have that free cash that, yes, you're going to go out and enjoy, spend on fitness clothes and trainers and everything else that gets tempting, but also try and make sure you're siphoning something off to head towards a pension scheme. Where can we go for more information on and get some advice?
Yeah, definitely. Visit pensionattention.co.uk. That's pensionattention.co.uk.
And you can check those details there. And Ross, anything else that you're doing at the moment that's going to add to your pension pot?
Yeah, I'm doing a documentary, a 5-part documentary about the manosphere, and about sort of the crisis that many young men find themselves in presently, and the reasons for it. And it's not an opinion piece. This is done with intellectuals who've been researching the subject for a number of years, and looking at, sadly, some of the adverse things that happen in our society presently with young men, and what hopefully we can do to try and resurrect the issues that they have, and try and overcome some of the large problems that young men face in society today, because it's not just affecting them, it's affecting young girls very much as well. There's been a rise in misogyny against young girls and women in general. So and the people that are perpetrating it are getting younger. Very heavy subject. I won't get any more into that. And also, I'll be off to Scotland on a lighter note to do the 5th series of Aboriginal Eyes in November.
That's something to look forward to there. And obviously, all keeping track of our pensions as we get involved in everything we're up to.
Absolutely.
Let's make our pension fitness work for us. Ross Kemp, broadcaster, documentary maker, and Bola Sol, pension trainer and financial advisor. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, Jason.
With Cinderella as the panto at the Garrick in Lichfield, there's going to be another amazing cast doing wonderful things on stage. 2 of their number are with me now. We have the dames. This is unusual, it's plural. Hello.
Hello.
Matt and Sam, how are we doing?
I'm very good, how are you?
All good here. Now
Which one are we looking at today?
Any camera you like.
4. Are they slimming? They say the camera adds pounds and you've got 4 on me. I'm looking fatter than normal.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm never entirely sure what level of Sam we're going to get, because some years there's more padding than others, isn't there?
That's a bit of a cheeky thing. Yeah, they're always here. So, yeah. Now, what level would you like today?
Moderate.
Moderate. You can get moderate.
Yeah. That works. Okay, so 21st November through to the 11th of January.
It's long.
It's a long one.
It's long, and this year, look, I normally
Nearly as long as your dress.
I'm normally in Crocs and a flat boot, but this year,
Not this year, sis.
No, I've got
no,
height.
no.
Not as much height as Matt.
Well, no, this is it. I mean, we're looking at a large pink thing up there at the moment, aren't we?
Oh, better than looking at a large thing, pink thing down.
Well, no, there is fluff around the middle as well. I'll give you that. So, right, Cinderella is the order of the day.
Yes.
Okay, do you any spoilers you want to throw in at this point? Because you normally like to try and upset children.
Well, I don't normally. This is my first time in the Lichfield Garrick being wicked. And Matt, I'm very, very happy that I've got Matt back. So me and Matt did Panto together in 2012 in St Albans.
Well, when you were only about 15.
I wasn't.
14.
12.
Come on.
And so I'm really happy to have Matt back with me.
Yeah.
That was my first
And
time
I'm
with
happy
sister.
to be here with you,
That's
sis.
lovely.
So as the sisters, do you have comedy sister names, or are we not allowed to divulge?
I think we
can do that,
we can
can't
do
we?
it. So you are,
Little Lena,
and I'm Aldiana.
better known as.
Little and Aldi.
I'm liking it. I am actually liking it. So that's fantastic. And an array of outfits. Obviously, twice as many, glorious outfits to be backstage this year.
Loads. We've got some great costumes. The ballrooms. Why do I keep clapping at you, Mike? That's going to be really annoying, isn't it? The ballroom scene. You got some lovely frocks for that, haven't
We've
you?
got some lovely frocks and more headpieces, bigger than this.
And hopefully wider than this. He's going up and I'm going wide. That's the order.
I think we covered that to start off with, but there we go.
So
It's breathing. That's it. Breathing.
We've got Cinderella, who we're not going to let go to the ball. You'd be surprised.
No
to know.
chance.
No
Yeah.
chance.
No
she's
chance.
not-
She's
It's
going
not happening.
anywhere.
Is that a major
No,
plot
she's
change?
going nowhere.
Yeah.
She's going nowhere. We are going. We get in the prince. We get in the men. The men of Lichfield. This is weird because I've only ever been friendly to the people of Lichfield. I'm really going to have to get into my head that I've got to be nasty. It's not going to take long,
No.
though, is it? I
They
mean,
know you really. There's a warm, loving Sam underneath all of that.
Not this year. There isn't. I'm gonna get them.
He's going for
I'm
him.
gonna get them. I'm gonna get them all.
And Matt, obviously, the makeup is looking fantastic. I mean, do you do all that yourself?
I haven't got any on. What are you talking about? Yes,
She woke up out of
yes,
bed,
we
Matt.
do. All ourselves, don't we, Sam?
Yes, we have to. There's no
nobody
money.
in the
There's
back
no
there
money
doing
for.
that, no.
It's all spent on everything else, the look and everything, isn't it? I mean,
What time did we get here this morning? 9:30.
9:30ish.
9:30. We were in makeup by 9:45. We got a little sip of coffee.
Yeah.
A little shot of espresso. One bourbon. Straight into makeup. Then
And here we are.
Now,
and now you can't damage your makeup by enjoying a biscuit, can
no,
you?
we can't now. I just had a Haribo. Sucked the Haribo to get some more sugar into me. I got a sweaty top lip.
No one likes a sweaty top there.
No. So yeah, it's nice and warm in here, especially with all these stage lights on. Which I'm waving at that camera.
Okay. Well, obviously, it's an amazing Christmas to look forward to.
Yes.
You come in.
Hey,
Are you gonna come?
well, if I get invited, yeah.
Well, you're here now. You might as well come. Otherwise, this interview is going to be a waste of time.
Sit
for
down
you.
and watch it.
Yeah, you can do the whole show for me now.
Come on,
Can't we do it? I've not done it since 2012. I can't remember the line. You've done it.
And there'll be
every
new
year.
jokes as well.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's
One
only
or
that
two,
Ben
one or
Thornton
two.
who doesn't do new jokes.
Oh yeah, we've got a great cast. Ben Thornton's back.
Yeah, with a hat on.
He's got a hat this year.
Oh, that's
Never
always
been
a help,
seen-
isn't it?
Never been seen before.
Yeah.
We got Clarice, who was our cow, Dave the Cow, last year. She is stepping into the role of fairy godmother, which we're really
Very
looking forward to.
exciting.
That's a promotion, isn't it?
Isn't it just? And our little horrible little sister Cinderella is played by Shannon, who was in Be More Chill in Birmingham this summer, and she was amazing. So we're really looking forward to working with Shannon as well. We've got great ensemble back. I'm not going to tell you about the carriage. Don't want to tell you about the
No,
carriage.
no, let's get something back.
Something
sis.
back.
Come on, just something.
Hold something back for
But
you.
there's a lot of magic. Let's put it like that.
A lot of love, lot of magic, and of course Cinderella is the greatest pantomime of them all.
Yes.
Absolutely. You say that about whatever panto it is every
But
year.
it definitely
don't
is Cinderella.
No, normally I say it's the biggest.
Right.
The best. This is the
This
greatest.
is the best.
The greatest of them all.
you? Okay, well, simple as that. Get your tickets. 01543 41212 is the box office number, or lichfieldgarrick.com. Grab your tickets that way, and you can enjoy the magic that is Christmas here at the Lichfield Garrick. Does that sound fair?
I think that sounds very fair. You did a very good job there.
Well
promoting
done.
that.
I do try. Matt, Sam, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ha, and a ha, and a ha.
Now, when it comes to DIY tasks around the home, there are a lot of things we can do, but then again, there are things that we shouldn't. Nick Knowles knows exactly what you can do in the DIY on your home, and he joins me now to give us a few tips. How you doing, sir?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Now, when it comes to it, there are some jobs which really are out of our league very often, unless we've got formal training. And this is why it is important not to take on too much and cause ourselves bigger problems when it comes to DIY tasks.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I'm hugely encouraging of people having a go at tasks around the house and saving money by doing sort of the things they can do. If you can tile, then great, tile your own bathroom. If you can't tile, at least take the tiles off, which is a manual job, and will save the plumber time, and you'll pay them less to do the job if they just come in and do the tiling part of it. So things like flooring, you click and cut tiling, flooring. If you can do that kind of stuff, then great. If you can't, then take up the old stuff that you've got, get that out of the way so that it's already in, you save time, and which means you save money for the tradesman if you do that kind of stuff. The difficulty is you get more confident with these kind of things and you start doing the stuff around the house. You can get a bit too carried away. And we know that we're a pretty confident nation because the Gas Safe Register did a whole load of research and suggested that there was about 5 million of us would have a go at fixing our own car after watching a YouTube video, which is great. I mean, but but there's certain things you shouldn't mess about with. I've been in the construction industry for about, I don't know, 35 years, something like that. And I'll have a go at most things, and pretty much I've built houses, I know what to do, but I won't touch gas and I won't touch electrics, and I get specifically people in to do that. And with gas, whether it be your cooker or your boiler, and of course, we're going into winter, people are going to be firing up their boilers. If it doesn't work, ring in your uncle who used to know about boilers years ago and he says, I'll talk you through it. Don't listen to him. Get yourself somebody proper in to look at it who's gas safe registered, and let them do that job, because it's probably illegal for you not to, if you ever go at it, but it's also potentially dangerous.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's been every once in a while we hear of a disaster where sadly someone will end up losing their life when a house explodes due to gas problems. And it's not a well-maintained gas system that usually causes that. And it is Gas Safety Week right the way through till the 14th of September. So it is another chance to highlight this. And particularly, as you say, we're turning on our boilers for the first time potentially. And it may even kick in when you don't realise it. But you've got to make sure we're safe. We need to do things like make sure we've got a carbon monoxide detector around as well. But equally, if any work needs doing, as you say, it has to be done properly. And as you already alluded to, this is a legal requirement, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I don't want to get people. I don't want people to be frightened. The very serious things that you're talking about, the etc. The dangerous things are incredibly rare. When you think how many millions of us use gas day in, day out, and very safely and get by. But what we're trying to do is make sure that I think there's a generation now coming up that want to have a go at things. And I think that's really good. The biggest rise in people taking part in gardening is actually in the sort of 18 to 30 bracket, which is great. And then people are doing the same thing around their home. And, times are tight, and so they're saving money. And as I say, I would encourage people where you can to have a go at things and reconnect with those guys. I think what was a generation of dads didn't teach their kids, and we kind of lost it for a generation. I think the new generation coming up give you a great deal of hope, because they really want to get stuck in and be reconnected and start using their hands again. And I think people are realising it's all very well going off and getting a degree, but if every second person has a degree, it's not really worth what it is. Where if you can get yourself a trade, or you can get yourself, and yeah, another thing as well. Somebody said to me the other day, when your toilet's back up at 4 o'clock at 4 o'clock in the morning, the day before Christmas Day, AI is not coming out to fix it. Somebody, somebody physical has to go and do that. And you can make a really good living at that. And if so people get involved and want to do more with their hands and want to take on a trade and want to do all those things, great, have a go. But there are specific things that you just don't. And actually gas, whether it be your gas cooker or your gas boiler, make sure it's serviced properly. And when you do get something with it, don't have a go at it yourself. Just get somebody in, and they're easy to find. You just look up online, Gas Safe Registered engineer, and they'll be all over the place. Or you go to the Gas Safe Registered website and they'll give you all the information you need and what you should how you should go about it.
Absolutely. So it'd be a sensible home DIY project. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, you must have some projects that you've worked on that you've even surprised yourself with, that you've been really pleased with. I mean, what's the most amazing thing that you've done in your own home that it was a building project you didn't necessarily anticipate would work wonderfully well?
I think I built a house. I built a beautiful house in Chiswick, where I got a little bit carried away because I like the house. Normally, what you do is you do it up with the idea that what most people will like. But this one, in particular, I built for my benefit, and I put solid walnut floors throughout the whole house, and that was incredibly difficult and unbelievably expensive. But it was, yeah, and I felt a great deal of pride in the finished thing with that. Unfortunately, I got a bit carried away with the lighting, and I got an electrician to put lights all over the place, and it looked like a Michael Jackson video. But so what I gained in credibility for the walnut floor, I lost with an overtly over the top light display. But look, I mean, but again, you still noticed then I said got someone to put the electrics in. I can do most things on most houses and build houses and pretty much do everything. Won't touch electrics. I will get someone in who knows what they're doing to do it properly, who's properly qualified. And the same with gas. I won't touch gas at all, and won't mess about with gas boilers or even the cooker. And also the other thing is you should keep an eye out. Most people, when they go, you'll find people saying, I don't know what's wrong with my cooker. It keeps popping. Or there's black smoke on the bottom of my pans, and I don't know. It should be burning clean, and it shouldn't be popping or making any weird noises. And if it is, just get yourself a gas safe registered engineer to come and have a look and tell you what's going on. So
could be service. It sounds like it's not burning the gas properly. And of course, if you're getting soot, that's one other warning sign that there could be carbon monoxide about. So if you've been getting weird headaches and feeling muzzy, actually it all ties in together. So do make sure you get these things checked. Gas safe register is where you need to go, whether you're getting something serviced, installed, or repaired. That's what you need to do. Check it out, give it a Google, and know that Nick Knowles is going to be on that same website next time he needs something doing around his home. Nick, good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us, and have a great time over the next few weeks as you prepare for winter, and make sure your boilers looked after too.
Absolutely, quite right too. And let's hope the good weather continues so that the boilers don't have to come on too soon.
Now, with a quarter of over 55s feeling left behind in today's TV market, old seems to be one of those jokes that is definitely getting old. To tell us more, I'm joined now by somebody who can't possibly be over 55 yet. That's Sherrie Hewson. Good afternoon.
Hello, that's a joke in itself.
It's not at all. You're looking fantastic, as
Thank
are
you.
many of these people watching TV. And they don't really want to constantly be put down for the fact that their age may be a bit higher, but it means their experience of life is, and they've actually got a greater understanding of the world around them very often.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that this campaign is about 55 plus, so we're going up to whatever age you want to go up to, and that they feel as though they're kind of being left behind only because people forget that, they are the people that sit and watch television. They're the ones that turn the televisions on, and great TV has it's on Freeview and Sky. They are preserving these classic shows that we all watch. I mean, I watch them. MASH is one of my most favorite shows of all time. And I got to interview Alan Alda on Loose Women, which just gobsmacked me completely because he was brilliant. But the things like Rising Damp and Home to Roost and Duty Free and Little House on the Prairie, Diagnosis, you could go on. They're all valuable right now, and we must preserve them. We must make sure that we never ever let them die or let them fade into some kind of memory. Oh, do you remember? No, I don't. Because I work with Alzheimer's and dementia, and they will, I go and I sing with them and dance with them. They go back to their rooms, and that's the end of their day. So what they do is they turn on the television, and they want to be able to watch or hear something that evokes a wonderful time in their lives. And things like the music, for instance, to Benidorm. The music, I know Benidorm's not that old, but the music to Rising Damp, the music to MASH, it evokes a time that they know and remember. Now, 55 and onwards and upwards and upwards and upwards have that lovely memory, and we all want memories, and we all love nostalgia. I don't care what age you are. Nostalgia is there from the beginning of your life when you turn back the clock and look backwards. And I think great TV are preserving that, and we must always preserve it.
I mean, this is TV from a time where we had at the most 4 channels, and the over option of choice that we have these days means you spend half your evening trying to choose what to watch on some of these streaming services. And I think that The quality, I dare say, isn't necessarily always there. It's often more about having the content than the quality of the content because there is only so much money to go around. And we're going back to the time when actually, you had several different sets for a show. Duty Free had, they would visit a different place each week, and you
Yeah.
never felt you got a cheap episode the way you did a bit later on in times.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are financial constraints now, and particularly because of the pandemic. That's why Loose Women's been cut, things are being shaved, shall we say, for now, because of the financial. I get that. I get what we've all been through. And we're also, I think it's wrong because Loose Women is one of those things where, ladies at home, whether you're a mum with some children at home or the lady that, doesn't go out because this world is so horrible now. People don't want to go out. They just stay at home. And this one actually brought that fun. When we were on it, it was funny, it was laughter, it was silly, it was arguments, it was, I had many an argument with Janet Street Porter, which we both loved. And so I think really it's difficult because you're right. These channels, I mean, I don't stream, I refuse to stream. I used to love watching an episode when a new show, say for instance when Downton Abbey first started, and watching Downton Abbey on a Friday night and then waiting till next Friday to see the next one. That was what I was brought up with television and what I wanted to do. I didn't want to sit and then watch 4 episodes of Downton Abbey in one go. I'd have never switched it on again because I would have been bored out of my brain. So, my day of before that, when you had the forerunner of Downton, which was upstairs, downstairs, when you could only watch it on a certain day and you had to wait, that was where I come from. And it was exciting television then, as the soaps were exciting then. But then when the soaps, I did 3 eps when I went to Corrie. Then they went to 6. I think eventually they went to 7. And they've gone back now. They've taken them down again. But first of all, how can you write that many? How many members of cast can you have? And also, storylines must be the same. And you know what soaps are like? They copy each other for storylines because they've got to keep going. And I find it really hard now to look through terrestrial television and think, well, I mean, I don't know about you. I'll go through and I go, oh, well, I'll watch a bit of Bake Off, bit of that, and I'll watch a bit of that. Then I won't bother. Oh, I know. I'll watch Doc Martin. That's not been on for a long time, or Bergerac. I don't. And then, of course, Benny Dorm is on. That's TV twice a day. So, and I'll watch that because I'm in it.
It's a great way of remembering your lines, and you get to remember them in a different way to
Yeah,
what we do. So that's a bit of fun.
exactly.
But I mean, yeah, I think the fact this is curated television as well, with a massive back catalogue to work through, it really is great TV. So where do we find it?
On Freeview and Sky, and it's not difficult. I mean, I know some people find all those kind of things quite difficult, but once somebody shows you it's free, and that's what matters, it's free. Netflix isn't free, but Freeview is. So they must go on to that one. And you can watch all those programs, those classic, wonderful shows. And to be honest with you, I watch them all the time because the nostalgia of them. And I mean, I know most of the actors in them as well. You know what I mean? Not necessarily the American ones, but all the others, the Man About the House, the Avengers, I knew them all. So it's just wonderful and also I love them because they're all of a time. So they're all quite period, so, and I love all that. But I think what great TV is doing is trying to make sure that we keep all the things that I was saying that years ago, I remember Morecambe and Wise and Two Ronnies and Dad's Army, they used to wipe tapes.
Yeah.
So they'd record and wipe them and throw the tapes away. Now we regret that. We mustn't ever repeat history and say, well, you don't need Rising Damp and you don't need Home to Roost, you don't need In Loving Memory anymore, you don't need MASH anymore because, they're all 90 or they've died. You mustn't do that. because people want to look back and want to remember, want nostalgia, want memories that we've all had all our lives, and I just hope nothing ever happens like that again. I don't think it will, to be
Yeah,
fair.
but digital media makes it a much easier way to store these things and for playout systems in
Well,
TV stations to do
I
it, which
know,
is the
because
best bit.
before it was tapes, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
And
Betamax or whatever they were called.
oh yeah, well the old big digital Betamax tapes they used in
Yeah,
broadcast were even bigger than the ones you had at home.
I know.
They were massive.
So
So
that's why they couldn't store them, you see.
mhm.
And I get that, but they regret it now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and there is good money to be made out of sharing these things and being able to watch it on great TV, as
Oh,
you
it's
say,
wonderful, isn't it?
yeah, on Freeview and Sky. So you
I
can,
know. And people I know, older people, much older than me, it's their lifeline.
hmm
It's what they live for. So we must, I mean, thank God, great TV, that this campaign is so fantastic and it should go further. We should do more of this and get it out there to people so that they know why, it must never be forgotten. This must never, I mean, brilliant British shows. And also the American ones were just, I mean, some of them like Friends, you
hmm
know, I mean, must never forget those. And
yeah,
we won't.
absolutely. No, we won't. We will keep watching them, and great TV is a great place to see
Yes,
a
it
number of these
is.
series.
It is. Yeah.
Give it a Google if you can get online. Find the listings there. But of course, if you got your telly, it'll tell you what's coming up next on the program guide thing on there, so you can check
Yeah.
it through that way.
Or get
And
somebody to do it for you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
if you can't find it on your telly, you might just need to do a rescan on your Freeview box. So get your whoever does that for you to sort that out,
Yeah. To
and
sort it out.
you'll be able to get on there.
Yeah.
Sherrie, many hours of watching you on TV. May that long continue. Thank you for
Thank
joining us,
you.
and we look forward to seeing you on great TV in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. Of course. Thank you.
Time of Death, More Unnatural Causes is out on the road. Dr. Richard Shepherd is taking it to theatres across the Midlands. I'll tell you the dates in a minute or two. Meanwhile, he's here to tell us about the show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well indeed. And how are you?
I'm very well too, but unfortunately, some of the people that you see on your table are not doing quite so well.
Well, this is true. This is true. I mean, I've had 40 odd years as a forensic pathologist. So, although I was trained as a real doctor and made people better for the first 2 or 3 years of my career, very quickly turned to pathology, and I've stayed there ever since.
And in the world of pathology, obviously, you've got to do the talking for the patient. That you've got to be able to work out what it is that caused them to be working with you.
Most people are really only concerned about their own relatives. But, when your relative dies, it is important that people know the truth behind their cause of death. Was it just natural causes? Was there a mistake made? Was it a murder? Was it deliberate? And all these things are very, very important to the person, but also, in a sense, in a broader sense, to the state and to society.
Absolutely. And if somebody is causing the death of others, obviously that needs to be stopped. And with the work you do in pathology, I mean, we see all sorts of things on TV and they do some amazing things in the shows. I'm going to guess they're doing it in sequence, which has been shortened for the time scale, though.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, a show like Silent Witness is absolutely brilliant. They tell fantastic stories, lots of twists and turns. It's great fiction. But that's the key word. It is fiction. We take weeks and months, sometimes even years over cases. Obviously, they can't. And sadly, I can't go out and arrest people and question them, which I think would be great fun if I could do that. But that's not my role. My role is very specific to look at the body, to look at the scene, and to find the facts that are going to be important for the police investigation.
You need a strong stomach for this job.
Yes, I suppose, but I have to think back to postmortems 1 and 2. After that, you get into the process of what is normal for what we're doing. It's not normal for everyday life and everyday people, but it's normal for what we are doing. And it is done to an end. And it is also done, and I do try and carry this over because people perhaps don't understand it. It is done with respect for the person, and it is done for a reason. It's not just a slash and grab. There is a skill and a process there that we are very proud to maintain.
And they say they did that. You're right there. It is about The fact that you're doing this at all shows the humanity of the situation. If we weren't interested, they wouldn't be human.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this, the state is very concerned with why people die. Now, the vast majority of people don't have an examination, don't have anything. Their death certificates are signed by a doctor in the hospital or their GP. So the vast majority of people, there isn't a concern. But if it's not clear, the state says we need to know why our citizens are dying for public health reasons, for criminal reasons, and for accidental reasons, and that's why we do it.
Now, you've done 24,000 autopsies in your 40 odd years doing this, and that's a
Yeah.
lot of unfortunate people, isn't it?
Well, yes, I say, but we're running at sort of less than 10% of the population, and I'm one of many. But sadly, people do die without anyone immediately expecting them to die or for a good reason, and that's why we need to pursue this. And some diseases have been discovered by forensic pathologists. Some heart diseases were originally diagnosed by forensic pathologists, seeing them and realizing that here was a natural disease process that they could identify. Some other drugs that are killing people, that things that are available on the internet, we see for the first time. COVID was probably diagnosed by a forensic pathologist as the first case and saying, this is unusual, this is different, something is happening here. And so we have that public health component to our work as well.
And you've helped to get people to understand some big news story passings as well, haven't you? And I think it's important that these things aren't sensationalized, and that's part of your job to make sure it is purely facts.
I'd say everybody will tell the truth, but you just have to ask the right questions. And my skill, if I have one, is knowing which questions to ask and understanding the answers that the body is giving me, because it is important. And nowadays, particularly with social media around, these things can spin out of control so fast. And it is getting back to the root, the core of the issue, and explaining what the medicine is, because people say, oh, that couldn't possibly happen. Well, yes, some things do happen. You can't just wander off and be found dead. Yeah, well, yes, I'm afraid you can, for all sorts of reasons.
Absolutely. And there's been freak accidents that you've sort of unraveled as you've gone along. And you say someone may not believe quite what's gone on there, but you with me many decades behind you are not going to stand up and suggest something when it isn't the evidence you've actually explored.
Well, we work from evidence. We don't go, oh, hang on a minute. It's not. We don't sort of have an I Spy book of causes of death and say, I haven't had one of those. I haven't had a meteorite strike on the head in the Arizona desert before. So let's do that in Clapham or Nottingham or wherever. We work from the evidence. We work from the facts that we are told. We work from the facts that we can find, and we put it together, and we combine that with our experience.
So what can we expect on your time on the road?
We can expect, I hope, a couple. I'm going to talk about a couple of really interesting and slightly different cases. We're going to talk about what it is a forensic pathologist does, and how time is the sort of one of the fundamental structure of this. Why is it that time is important? And of course, you know this is silent witness. You know that always. When did the person die? When was an injury caused? How old is the injury? How long would they have survived if they had received that injury? Time is so important, and that's the structure of it. So how do we work out when someone died? What are the things I would actually do, and why are they important, and how medically do they come about? So we're going to tell those stories. We're going to tell a little bit about my life, what it's like to be a forensic pathologist, to be on call 24/7, waiting awfully for something bad to happen to someone else, for me to get called out to go and work. So it's a very strange feeling that, I'm not going to go and help this person, but I'm going to go and help the police and the society to understand it, and waiting for the bleep to go off.
And it's certainly a comfort for their families' understanding in most cases, isn't it?
Well, that actually is the driving force, I always feel, is in the nicest possible way, nobody really cares why someone else's relative dies. And if you follow, that's not complete lacking, but the relatives of that person need to know, and they need to know the truth. and understand what's gone on. Otherwise, I know because I've seen it. After 2 years, the little niggles. Why? I don't think that should have happened. I think this should have happened. And these concerns build and build and build and cause a lot of distress. So this is why we need the truth, and we need to be able to talk to relatives and explain to them, sometimes in coroner's courts, sometimes in Crown courts, but also sometimes face to face. This is what's happened, and let them ask their questions then and be satisfied. And that is so important for their grieving process, to start from a basis of knowledge and truth.
So the tour begins on the 29th of September. That one's going to be at the Stafford Gatehouse, gatehousetheatre.co.uk. Then you make your way across the country, stopping off this time at Theatre 7 in Shrewsbury on Monday, the 6th of October, theatre7.co.uk, SEVERN is a spelling on 7 on that one. And then, once again, you stop off in the Midlands at the Lichfield Garrick Theatre on Tuesday, the 28th of October, lichfieldgarrick.com. And you can then explore this world that you have lived in and helped to sort of form in so many ways. But you're also going to be appearing on TV throughout the month of September as well, aren't you?
Yeah, there's some programs that we filmed earlier in the year, actually, about deaths in sort of unusual situations, deaths in water, deaths in antiquities. And we're doing a new series of The Truth About My Murder. So it's been a busy year.
Absolutely. Keeps you out of trouble and keeps you explaining what goes on behind the scenes in making sure that we understand these cases. Dick Shepherd, out on the road with death, more unnatural causes. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to finding out about what goes on in the pathology behind these unexpected deaths.
Thank you, Jason.
It's that time of year when, for some random reason, I have a chat with Sam Rayburn whilst he's wearing a complete frock and dame outfit to talk about a show where he'll be wearing a sharp suit.
No! Surprise, surprise!
Yeah.
We've decided the people of Lichfield seem to enjoy me more in boobs than they do in shoes. So with this big Boston variety show, the makeup's going to be on, the boobs are going to be back. I'm going to have a lovely time. I'm going to be bringing Basil Brush onto stage dressed in something very similar to this.
Yet in reality,
No, that's true.
Basil Brush in a frock.
No, I'm in a frock.
Okay, you just threatened to put Basil Brush in a frock.
No, Basil Brush won't. Although, I think if you've seen any of Taskmaster Live, Basil Brush will be dressed as Prince singing Purple Rain, which is something that you need to see. If you've seen nothing else this year, besides Cinderella the Lichfield Garrick, you need to see Basil Brush singing Prince Purple Rain dressed as a purple Prince Fox. That's something you've got to see.
I'm sold already. I mean, the Big Boston Variety Night is always amazing. Not only is there wonderful merch, which every decent show needs,
Of course.
but there is also the fact that you bring together some of the best people you know from showbiz. You've got loads of showbiz friends.
I've got lots of showbiz friends. I'm bringing lots of people together, and I want a night of variety. I want something for everybody. So this year we've got Basil Brush. He's doing his sellout show that he did at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is Unleashed. So it's for the over 15s. It's a little bit cheeky. It's for the grown-ups that remember Basil when he was little and want something a little bit tongue-in-cheek. He's not rude, but it's a little bit naughty.
It wouldn't fit in with your show if it was rude.
No.
I mean, it's a family show, isn't it?
Well, we're over 15s this time.
Yeah,
so we're saying it's for the over 15s. We've got Magic from Magic Martin, who's huge on TikTok. We've got Tommy J, one of the best comedy jugglers in the business, who's in so demand on cruise ships. We're lucky for him to be here. And Karen Tomlinson, who is one of the best tribute artists. She's going to be doing a few little surprises for us. So we've got singing, magic, juggling, and Basil Brush Unleashed, which was a sellout success at the Edinburgh Fringe and literally packed the tents at Glastonbury.
Having met Basil, I can understand why. He's a lovely fella, isn't he?
He's great. Boom to that. So yeah, 28th of September.
Okay.
Tickets are on sale now.
Okay, and you can do the phone number?
No, because I don't
01543 412 121. Yeah, and the website?
lichfieldgarrick.com. I can do that, but I never phone up here, do I? Why would I phone
No,
up?
they ring you, don't they, to get you to dress like this?
Yeah, come on, Sam, come down. But yeah, my Big Boston Variety Show, 28th of September. Basil Brush Unleashed. Be there, and you be.
And get tickets now while stocks last.
Malted everywhere.
Yeah.
I wish I could fly.
No, it's Basil Brush, not.
Oh yeah, wrong one. Damn
Yeah.
it. Oh, I've just got this one.
Now, with the Vagina Monologues on stage at the Rep over the weekend, we have with us Fifi Garfield, who has been part of the whole process of bringing this to the stage. This has been done by Definitely Theatre, the first deaf launch and deaf-led professional theatre company in the UK. And Fifi's with you now. Hello.
Hi, this is Fifi here. Nice to meet you.
Now, Fifi has a sign language interpreter, making the nonsense that I say actually understandable to her, as she is unfortunately not able to hear what's going on. But this has never held her back in her career, and as an amazing person when it comes to the work that she's done, particularly during the likes of the ITV drama Code of Silence. So, first of all, tell us a bit about what it's like being part of mainstream media when, unfortunately, being deaf means that you're very often limited from being mainstream.
Right, okay. I'm an actress for, over 20 years. I've done quite a lot of things, media and theatre as well. So media, BSL, BT, now it's changed to Lumo TV. So I've been involved in that, like short dramas. There's, lots of deaf, crew, deaf writers, deaf directors. And, I'm also a game host as well called Sign to Win. And then, that's a deaf, deaf community, also for hearing community as well, that they can watch. But the aim, is the mainstream, like Code of Silence. Finally, that was, an amazing achievement to go through to mainstream. I really wasn't a big difference, like, oh, deaf. No, it wasn't. It was, I'm still the same as everyone else. I just can't hear. That's the only difference. And also, they were quite brave enough to, bring in deaf people. Also, Rose Ellis as well. She was involved in the process, and so she was, quite adamant that deaf issues must be put into the, especially with access to work as well. That was important. And, difficulty getting interpreters. All of those issues, everyday life for deaf people. And, it's a wonderful working for, in Code of Silence. It was, a lovely crew. Most of them are hearing, but they could sign to me as well because they'd had deaf awareness training before the filming had started. So they could say, hello, how are you? Finger spell their names, which, was amazing. It's small, but it made a big change, a big difference.
And being able to represent people who have both hearing disabilities and profound deafness is important, part of everyday life for somebody who has this situation, yet it is something which is sorely underrepresented. Yet I think we all know somebody who is deaf, yet my sign language is zero. We are not taught this.
Yes, there's another program called Reunion that BBC, all deaf actors in that. The crew, a lot of them were deaf as well behind the camera. It wasn't the first, ever. They have others there around as well, historically as well. But it was just, it was just quite silent for a while, and then just every now and again. So Reunion and then Code of Silence, just two came along at the same time, which, hopefully this will continue. Now we know that Code of Silence season 2 will be coming next year, or we'll be filming next year for that. But really, we need to raise awareness. You're right, yeah, deaf numbers are, there's hidden, but sign language is you either have courses, like people go and learn French, Spanish, why not go and learn sign language?
Absolutely. And I think when it comes to the work that you've done here with the Definitely Theatre, I think this is, again, it's bringing much more into the mainstream, and a standard Saturday night out, which just happens to include sign language.
Yes. So Birmingham, just going back, Sheffield, when we were in Sheffield, half of the audience were hearing for that, and they absolutely loved it. But here, there is no voiceover, just BSL, and then there are captions on the screen, and a little bit of music in the background as well, just to set the scene. But that's it. There's no complaints at all, and they absolutely enjoyed it. They loved it. So they learnt the sign for the word linked to vagina. There's lots of different words, and they learnt those. But I've taught them how to sign it. Yes, I was just the audience learned to sign. words, not vagina, but words, that are, the C word, but obviously I'm not going to say that.
So, what was it like being part of the vagina monologues? The rehearsal stages will have been interesting, and it's important to get the message across here on two counts.
Yeah, we did this 2 years ago. In the 20, there was like 20 women that did this. That did some fundraising in one night at a £1,700 audience. We did 2 day rehearsals for this. So now, so there's 10 women, and we did 1 week rehearsal. And then we had 3 places Exeter, Sheffield, and now in Birmingham, the Rep Theatre. Yes, it's been really interesting, the audience reaction. They've come up to us and said, oh, I never knew about this or this linked to that. So, it's an eye-opener for lots of people to hear other women's stories from all over the world. But I think it's started to, make people look, maybe their relationships with their partners or their relationship with their own, with themselves, kind of make them to dig deeper and the impact, because it's all obviously it's in English. Deaf people don't really understand English as a first language, so BSL gives them that, able to immerse themselves into that world of BSL through that.
Long may this amazing work continue, making sure there is representation exactly as it should be, and more work with the likes of the Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, where we've seen you appearing in so many amazing pieces. We look forward to more from Code of Silence. And where can we go to see more about the wonderful work being done by Definitely Theatre, and of course follow you on the socials too?
Right. So Definitely Theatre. This is the last performance of the week. So hopefully there will be more in the future, but who knows? And secondly, Code of Silence, that will be filmed next year. I'm hoping to get in a bit more BSL. And then somebody will be come up to me and said, oh, a hearing person said. So that was quite good for people, to see the reality of a deaf home, what their life is like every day. And so my Instagram, you can follow me on Insta, and then _Fifi_Garfield. And then also, for your information, the director of Vagina Monologues, Paula Garfield, she's my twin sister. But thank God we don't look alike. We're quite separate, not identical.
Well, obviously, I'm very lucky to be able to talk to someone who's equally as good looking as her sister. And I say thank you for joining us and having a chat.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It was a lovely time to chat with you too.
That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, back with episode 847 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.